Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a video on how to do a flawless makeup base. I just want to teach you guys, if you want to do your makeup at home, what to do in order for your skin to look really good. And it's gonna work for any kind of makeup that you want to put on top of that, but basically how to put your concealer, how to moisturize properly, and how to use all the products in order for your skin to look really nice and not cakey. So yeah, let's get into it. First thing that I am going to do is moisturize my face, and I already put some lip balm on my lips so they stay hydrated by the time I do my entire face. The lips are gonna hydrate. Another very important thing, if let's say you have a very important event next week, during that week prior, drink more water. That's gonna help you a lot with just your skin to look much better, and you won't need a lot of moisturizing cream for your skin to look flawless. So I am starting by moisturizing my face. I'm gonna use just a regular moisturizer with hyaluronic acid, and I'm gonna apply it all over, and then I'm gonna use for the under eye a thicker cream. It's a Sephora eye cream. So we're gonna moisturize. I like to moisturize my face and let it sit for a little bit, and then work on my eyes and like preparing them for, let's say, the eyeshadow, and then getting back and putting the foundation, just because your skin is gonna eat all of this moisturizer by the time you're doing the eyes, and that's gonna be really good for you. If you feel like this area is oily, which for me it is, I'm gonna use a primer after this just to make it a little bit less shiny and for it not to be that oily in the pictures or anything like that. So this was my moisturizer, and then I'm going under my eyes, and you can put more if you want, or you can use patches before you do your makeup, just to have it really hydrated. This is the part that needs very a lot of hydration, I want to say, and the part that has like the most wrinkles. So when you put the powder, and if you don't do it properly, it's gonna show the wrinkles. So you really want to hydrate this part. Okay, so by the time about 5 minutes that my face is actually gonna take all of this moisture, we're gonna work on the eyes and on the eyelids to make a base for an eyeshadow. I'm not gonna show how I do the eyeshadow, but I'm gonna show you guys how I do the base, and then you can put any eyeshadow on top of it. So first thing, you can use an eyeshadow primer. I use a concealer for that, and I use a L'Oreal concealer. So you can use anything that you think is proper for you, but a concealer is better just of the consistency because it's kind of thicker, and you want to use your shade of concealer or even like lighter. Just this, if you can see, my eyes are a little bit darker here, and when I do the eyeshadow, I want kind of white base so the eyeshadow shows natural. I'm gonna start just placing it, and you can see already like how it covers all the darkness that I have. And I'm going to do my eyebrows at the end, so I'm not worried if it gets a little bit in my eyebrows. Now I'm gonna use a brush to just blend everything, and then we're gonna do powder on top. For the powder, you can use regular powder, and I'm gonna use Laura Mercier powder, or you can use an actual eyeshadow color, you know, like a light brown or even a white, just to set it and make it a good base for your eyeshadow. You can take the concealer all the way here, and you can see already the difference. This is really dark over here. Now we have a really clean base for our eyeshadow. As I said, I'm using Laura Mercier powder, is one of the most favorites for all makeup artists, so I'm sure if you watch more like YouTube videos, you've seen it before. So we're just gonna put powder. And you see how I used different brushes when I do this? This brush with this kind of bristles is for cream, to tap it in, to blend it. And this kind of brush is for powders, if you want to go a little bit crazier on the makeup techniques. So this is set. Now we're going to do the other eye, and then we're going to get back and put some primer on the face. Alright, now I am going to do a primer. As I said, this area is a little bit oily, this area is oily, tends to be oily, and then this area too. So I'm going to use the Smashbox primer. And then for everything else, I'm using the Tatcha primer. If you want to use just one, just look at your face. If it's super shiny, everything, that means you're probably oily. If you're super dry, you want to use a hydrating primer. That's just going to help your foundation really stick to your face. It's not going to move, or like if you touch your face, it's not going to go on your hand or on your clothes that much. So primer is really important. It sits differently, just that's what I noticed. So I'm going to put the Smashbox right here, and you can already see, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but like this is already really shiny and this is becoming more matte. My English. And then I'm using in this area, and then a little bit more here. Sometimes I can use even this one all over my face because it's not drying or anything. It just makes your finish a little bit more matte. And then now I'll be using the Tatcha Canvas Silk. It's a really nice primer. And then I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit too, just so it can get into the skin. A lot of times if I feel like my skin is hydrated enough, I would use just the primer and just this one from Tatcha that is hydrating. But if you want if you want a makeup that lasts longer, you want to do the hydration first with a moisturizer and then the primer, because you want your skin to really be glowing and not just the foundation to stick to your face. Okay. And then we're gonna let this sit a little bit. Meanwhile, I'll probably do my eyebrows and then get back and we'll do the foundation. Great, so now while I did my eyebrows, the primer got to sit on my face, and now we're gonna do foundation. I'm gonna use the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I always recommend customers to use a foundation they're comfortable with and something that is not drying. Even if your face is really oily, try something that hydrates your skin. If you have a lot of pimples, you have dark circles, you want to use a little box like this that has different colors, and the green one is for pimples, the orange one is for dark circles. I don't have a lot of dark circles, and even if I do, I think the foundation can cover them, but I'll do a little bit of the green one on the pimples that I think can be covered, so you guys can see. So the green is going to correct the red. I don't have a lot of pimples or anything, but I want to use it just so you guys can see how to use it. And then let's do a little bit of orange so you know where to place it. So the orange is for dark circles. It's right here where you see the purple or the really dark. And don't worry about it. The foundation is going to correct everything. Even if it's like super orange, once you put the foundation on top, it's gonna blend. Try not to put too much. You don't want to look cakey or anything like that. But if you hydrate properly, it's not gonna look cakey. So we're gonna go in with the foundation. And you're gonna need a brush, a sponge, and then a brush for powder for this. So first I'm just gonna apply it all over my face. And then I'm using a brush to blend it in. You can use your fingers, that's totally fine. If you're used to that or you have only a beauty blender, I always recommend using your fingers. You have natural warmth coming out of your fingers, so that's going to help blend your foundation. Take it a little bit into the hairline, on your neck. Then we're going to move on. Just do the next one. As you can see, I'm also using a good amount of foundation. That's for when you want to do a look that is like full coverage. You're going on a date night. You need to cover everything. You want your face to be like a canvas, so you can put the contour on, the blush, and everything. You can definitely put less foundation or do the same thing just with a tinted moisturizer. But this is definitely for something when you want to go heavier and when you want to have that full coverage. So now we did the brush. We're gonna go in and do the beauty blender and get the beauty blender a little bit wet and just go all over and kind of set it in, because the actual setting is going to be our powder that we're gonna do on top. See how I went under my eyes with foundation too? But we're gonna do concealer as well. So if you don't have really dark circles, you can skip this area and do just the concealer. I prefer to do the foundation too because it kind of acts like a correcting color. And then I'm going to do the concealer on top. Okay, beauty blender done. We're gonna go in with powder, and for that I'm gonna use a bigger brush. I'm gonna use the same powder from Laura Mercier and just set everything in. You can do more powder if you feel like it's still kind of shiny. And then at the end you can just go all over with the brush and just take off the excess of powder if you feel like you have too much or it's too dry or anything like that. I know makeup artists that do the brush with powder and then go back with the beauty blender and put more powder. That's if you want your makeup to last like extremely a long time. Okay, so already looks flawless. We're gonna go in and do the concealer underneath. Then I'm gonna start to add some more color because I feel like my face is really blunt and same color all over. So for the concealer, I'm gonna use the same one from L'Oreal. This is color Oatmeal, if you're interested. I'm not gonna add a lot because I don't need a lot, just to brighten a little bit this area. And then this area a little bit. Okay. And you can do the same thing, brush, but I'm gonna use just the beauty blender. You could do the brush and then the beauty blender, but I feel like the beauty blender is gonna do what I need. See, I'm not putting a lot because I don't need a lot of concealer. Try to look up if you can, and then we need to add powder for this too to just set everything. Now I'm gonna just do my eyes really quick to add some color, and then I'll show you how I do my contour and lips, and then we should be good to go. Right now I added a little bit of color for my eyes, just to have a little bit of depth, and I did my lips too because they were kind of just in there. And I'm gonna contour my face, and to have that flawless finish for your complete makeup, I use a cream contour. You can use a darker, that's what I use, a darker concealer from e.l.f. in color 10 neutral. You can use a cream concealer that right now everybody's coming up with, like Makeup by Mario or Anastasia has a great cream concealer, and then I put either regular powder on top or a contour powder on top to just set it. But having a cream contour underneath, it's going to give you that flawless look. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the concealer, and you want to go in the middle of the ear and try to get to your nose, and then just take it up. So this is kind of what you're looking to do, is that line. If you're gonna do a photo shoot or mostly for pictures, I would leave that line, but most of the time for clients, I retouch it where it's like not more of a line. Again, with a brush, blend it in, and you can go on top with the beauty blender if you want, but the brush can do it too. And then I love a liquid blush on top of this too, if you want to do it, but you can see already how nice it looks. When you use just a powder, it's kind of drying your face, but if you do a cream contour, it's always gonna give you that natural look. Gonna do the same thing on this area. And then forehead, same thing. If you have a big forehead, you can contour it. I try not to do it too much because, again, I'm not going for a photo shoot look. I'm going more for a natural look, and in person, the forehead, I feel like the forehead contour is like one of the biggest things that you can see. Very important here, get into the hairline, so you don't want to see that difference. Now, on top of that, we're gonna go with a powder, either regular powder, the same Laura Mercier would be amazing, or I'm gonna use the Valentino Universal. You just put it on top of that and set everything that you just did. It's easier, you know already where to place it, you don't have to play with it a lot. Just go on top of everything, blend it really nice. Same here. And for the blush, I'm going to use a liquid blush. This one is from Sephora. I don't know if they still have it at this point, but I love a liquid blush. It just gives you, again, more natural looking, creamy look. And you just want to place it on top of your contour. And blush is actually really important because of the way you place it. You really need to go upwards, so then your face goes upwards and that just makes it thinner. If you want to go on top of this with a powder blush, you can, but I'm not a crazy person for a blush, at least not for today's look. I'm going more for a daily look, and I think this is enough. And we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. If you want to add another top of powder on top of this to make it stay longer, you can. If you feel like there's shiny parts, to me everything looks good, so I'm just gonna go and spray on my face, and then yeah, and then that'll be the finished look. There you go. So this is the finished look with the makeup on. What I really wanted to teach you today is actually how to put your concealer underneath, how to put concealer under your eyeshadow, so that gives you a base that is going to stay for a long time, that is going to be flawless, and also for your foundation, how to use a brush, how to use a blender. I did a little bit extra just so you can see how it actually stays. This kind of makeup would stay up to like 6 to 12 hours if you want. If you use good products, a good foundation, of course, that's helpful as well. Yeah, that was it. Let me guys know in the comments if you have anything to add. If you liked the video, thank you so much for watching. Definitely subscribe, that's a big help, and I will see you in the next video.